Hello, everybody, and welcome to Friday Apocryphal Podcast, your one-stop shop for everything Friday Apocryphal and podcast, and boy, do we have a show for you today. Today, we are covering the Apocalypse of Adam, chapters 1 through 4.
And this one, it's a Gnostic text.
It is a Gnostic text.
We haven't really done that before.
No, not on the show, at least, and I'm excited to get into it. We're going to talk about some Aeons, and we're going to talk about...
Are you excited?
I mean, a little bit.
Physically?
Maybe a little too excited.
Oh, shoot. We're not that kind of channel.
Yeah.
YouTube is not that kind of platform.
You can go to twitch.tv/amaranth for that.
Yeah.
Okay. Great recommendation.
Actually, pretty good stuff. When
we're officially sponsored by Amaranth.
That'd be pretty great.
She's paying us $10,000 for this spot right now. I
fucking wish. She does those unban requests. Those are really fucking hilarious.
All I've seen her do is lick microphones.
That's what most people have seen her do.
Doesn't she make like $10 million a month on OnlyFans or some shit?
Well, I'm not sure if it's 10 million, but it is like, it's a lot. She makes like
in a year.
It's
and
more
that's still taxed.
Like
she probably makes like 10 mil a year. I'm guessing
she makes more than she has any business making licking microphones. We can do that.
Yeah, but
probably not as well as she does. But yeah, she has those.
Pretty dirty at this point. I'm gonna take a guess.
Yeah, I'm not gonna put my tongue on that.
Yeah, she has unban requests. Those are pretty funny. That's really mostly what I watch her for. Copium.
Wow.
So
sure it is.
Yeah, sure
Lawrence.
it is. Yeah, so we got a Gnostic text.
Yeah.
Let's talk about some.
Let's talk about some Aeons.
Yeah.
Let's talk about some demiurges.
Yeah, and apparently, according to this text, Adam and Eve were at one point stronger than God himself, because that is in line with Gnostic texts. Of course, every Gnostic text differs a little bit theologically from the next.
Well, there was only one rule. They couldn't eat from the tree. But, it wasn't a rule. You can't beat the shit out of God.
You're right. That was not a rule.
Yep. You can't even punish him for it. Well, what's he going to do? Fight back?
Yeah. How holy would that be? No,
exactly. It's got to turn the other cheek.
So, it's a Gnostic secret revelation or apocalypse. We've covered the meaning of the word apocalypse before.
What are you even reading from?
Oh, that's right. I am reading from the Old Testament Pseudepigrapha, Volume 1, Apocalyptic Literature and Testaments.
Well, I am reading from Old Testament Pseudepigrapha, Volume 1, Apocalyptic Literature and Testaments by James H. Charlesworth.
Yeah, in this section...
You guys know I was reading that too? Holy shit.
I didn't so actually. Convenient. I did not. This section on the Apocalypse of Adam, a new translation and introduction by G. McRae. So maybe this is Steve's long-lost cousin or something.
Oh my God.
It's probably not. It's spelled entirely differently.
Well, Ellis Island.
Right, of course, yeah. So definitely Steve's cousin then.
Yeah.
100%.
100%.
Yeah, no doubt here. So it's Adam talking to son Seth, and let's see, destined to be preserved for Seth's prosperity, the race of the Gnostics. Because it is narrated by Adam immediately before his death, it also bears some of the literary characteristics of the Testament genre.
You guys realize there's nudity in the picture, right?
This is like a pretty classic piece of artwork.
Yeah, I know.
And I think that's fine.
It's just funny where the placement of the nudity is compared to you guys.
Okay.
Nothing. It's just funny.
Yeah,
people can remark what they want. I just will say what I'll have to say here.
This YouTube's not going to be mad about this.
No, I'm not even mad about it. I know what the art is. I just think it's very humorous where they're placed right now.
I am furious.
You should be.
Yeah.
Yep.
He doesn't appreciate art ever.
So
art is a crime.
So this text is not really. It doesn't really closely follow the Genesis story.
Well, that's because the Genesis story was written by followers of the Demiurge.
Right. Of course, yeah. Let's see. So in his fallen state of subservience to the creator God without knowledge of the God of truth above, he receives, this is, having those, the idea that one God is worse than another. He receives a revelation of the future from three mysterious strangers, and it is this revelation that forms the substance of the remaining narrative. Adam then foretells the story of the flood, of the resettlement of the world, and of a cosmic conflagration that is perhaps based on the destruction of Sodom and Gomorrah.
So we should expect some cool stuff in this reading, shouldn't we?
Some stuff, yeah. Probably variations on things we've read before.
Yeah,
sure, but they're going to have, we'll get right into it when we get into it, and you'll see, because I remember you reading just a bit before.
Yeah.
Like, oh, man, Adam and Eve are just going to be very different.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So the text, the Apocalypse of Adam, is preserved in a unique manuscript in the collection of Coptic codices discovered near Nag Hammadi.
Ooh.
Yeah. In 1946. It is the fifth and last treatise in Codex 5, which also contains three Christian Gnostic apocalypses and a speculative non-Christian Gnostic tractate. The Codex
Wait, is this in the Nag Hammadi book that you have?
It might be.
Oh yeah, you should bring that next time.
I will. First I'll check if it's in there.
Well, you should bring it anyway.
That's true. I probably should. The Codex may be dated to the second half of the 4th century AD. Codex 7 of the same collection has been dated after 348 CE on the basis of documentary papyri embedded in its cover. The Codex is now preserved in the Coptic Museum at Old Cairo. So the original language, they go into it a little bit here, but it's probably Greek. Really no other language would make sense as an original, although since it is written in Coptic, which is an Egyptianized form of Greek, it does often take from the Septuagint version. So for the date, while there is nothing too solid, most commentators put it, 1st, 2nd century CE. There is one. There seems to be one scholar who thinks there's an allusion to the eruption of Mount Vesuvius in 79, but that's which, if true, it could hold an interesting link to Revelation, because there's also a portion in Revelation that could be linked to that, although it's very uncertain in both cases, so I'm not going to make that.
Well, let's explore this spurious
yeah, it is
association.
Yeah, so I wouldn't put my money on it.
Wow. Like all those times when they talk about rivers of fire and, like the earth shaking, and it's all references to Mount Vesuvius.
Yeah, doubt it. So
you can doubt it all you want, Lawrence.
Now onto the provenance here. Some of the Nag Hammadi codices bear indications that they were copied in the vicinity of, and perhaps in close relation to, the monastic communities of Upper Egypt, which, by the way, Upper Egypt is southern Egypt because of the way the Nile flows.
Yeah. They've got everything upside down there.
Yeah.
It's like how in Australia the toilets flow backwards.
Wow.
No, they don't.
The site of
How
the
do
find,
you know?
They've tested
Seen
this stuff.
videos of Australian toilets.
Yeah, but they were mirrored.
Right, of course. Yeah,
Yeah.
totally.
Mm-hmm.
You don't know.
Wow.
You have no guarantee.
That force is on a much higher level. It only really affects weather systems.
Yeah.
The site of the find confirms this location. If the Apocalypse of Adam is a late document, it might have originated in Egypt, but there's no positive reason to associate the Greek original with Egypt, and it might have been composed anywhere in the Mediterranean world. Epiphanius, writing his descriptive catalog of heresies around 375, describes a sect called the Archontics. Yeah, Archontics, whose teachings resemble the Apocalypse of Adam in several ways. So could be one in the same group there.
How do you spell that?
So Arco. It's like so you have Archontics. That should make sense. The connection with the
let me tell you about the Archontics.
apparently it's not a strong connection though.
Well, the Archontics, or Archontici, were a Gnostic sect that existed in Palestine and Armenia, who arose towards the mid-4th century CE. They were thus called from the Greek word
Archontes.
which means principalities or rulers, by reason that they held the world to have been created and ruled by malevolent archons. So let me tell you about these guys.
Yeah, so our arco would be like, rule or govern, and archontes would be like a participle version of it. So people who do that, people who do the ruling and governing.
They held that they were 7 heavens. Pretty common belief. It's in the Talmud. Ruled by the demiurge, surrounded by archons begotten by him, who are the jailers of souls. In the 8th heaven dwells the supreme mother of light. The king or tyrant of the 7th heaven is Sabaoth, the god of the Jews, who is the father of the devil. The devil, dwelling upon earth, rebelled against his father and opposed him in all things, and by Eve begot Cain and Abel. Cain slew Abel in a quarrel about their sister, whom both loved. They say, records Epiphanius, that the soul is the food of the archons and powers, without which they cannot live, because she is of the dew from above and gives them strength. When she has become imbued with knowledge, she ascends to heaven and gives a defense before each power, and thus mounts beyond them to the upper mother and father of the all, whence she came down into this world. This is from Epiphanius' Panarion.
Yeah. So one of the most characteristic features of the Apocalypse of Adam, as with plenty of other Gnostic writings, is the sharp distinction between the creator God and the remote supreme God. The former is at times called the ruler of the Aeons and the powers, at times God Almighty. The creator God, the God of Genesis, becomes a hostile power whose mission is to thwart the attempts of humanity to preserve a knowledge of the supreme God. So very different there. Humanity in this conception is the creature of the demiurge and normally lives in servitude to him and in ignorance of the eternal God destined for death.
Yes.
But the Apocalypse of Adam also distinguishes 2 categories of people: the followers of the demiurge and the descendants of Seth, the Gnostics, in whom knowledge of the higher God is preserved and who are destined for imperishability.
Right. Gnostics, gnosis, meaning knowledge. The Gnostics literally were like, we're in the know,
Yep.
bro. And so, obviously, everything that everyone else believes is wrong because they're not in the know.
Yeah, exactly. Like they don't know the real meaning behind everything.
Yeah. And the real meaning is that there's a demiurge with evil archons who's tricked everyone into being worshipers of him. And there's this pleroma and a holy mother and father. And
yeah, the differences between the idea that we have preserved in the Bible and Gnostic writings is, it's huge. Now
at least they ate food. At least they didn't celibacy themselves out of existence.
Right.
Like the Essenes.
Although because Gnostic stuff is pretty cool because it's just so different from what we're used to.
Yeah.
And this is a pretty big, not big in terms of size. It's actually pretty short. So we are cutting into 2 readings, but yeah, you will see the vast differences between them. I'm going to hand this off to you.
Yes.
For probably the first 2 chapters. But we're going to learn a lot about how the Bible is wrong according to the Gnostics, or how it doesn't tell the full story, I should say, because they're still taking up the Adam and Eve stuff, but it's very different.
Yeah, it reveals all the hidden truths, supposedly.
Yes. Now, verily, listen to my words, children. We shall commence into the apocalypse of Adam. Chapter 1. The revelation, apocalypse, which Adam taught his son Seth in the 700th year. Now, there's a footnote. The 700th year, according to the Septuagint of Genesis 5:4, the Masoretic text would be 800. It's the length of Adam's life after the birth of Seth. Thus, the apocalypse is a deathbed testament of Adam.
Yep, there we go.
Now
right before he dies.
Yeah, we've seen something similar with this, where I think it was Second Enoch. Second Enoch does this, where it's the descendants of Enoch. Well, he like gives his teachings to them as he's about to ascend.
Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah.
And I think we had something in the Bible where, of course, was it Shem and his dad or something? I don't remember.
I mean, there's plenty of, because you have the whole. You might be thinking of
scenes. That's what I'm thinking of.
Was it with Isaac?
Isaac doesn't speak to Abraham after.
No. I mean, or Jacob, where who?
Yeah. Jacob tricks his father into giving him his birthright.
Yeah.
And maybe that has to do with one of these deathbed confessions.
Yeah, that might be what you're thinking of, because he's like dying and blind.
Yeah, but I don't think he was like quite dead yet.
Right.
Anyways.
Saying, listen to my words, my son Seth. When God created me out of earth, along with Eve, your mother, I used to go about with her in a glory which she had seen in the Aeon from which we had come. Now, throughout, the word glory is a literal translation of the Coptic for Greek doxa.
Okay.
It may sometimes refer to honor or dignity, sometimes to external splendor, as often in the Septuagint. And the word aeon in Greek, a loan word in Coptic, is sometimes a temporal, sometimes a spatial concept. In addition, in Gnostic literature, it's also used for personal beings, whether spiritual or material. All these meanings occur in the Apocalypse of Adam, but the word is translated as aeon throughout. She taught me a word of knowledge of the eternal God, and we were like the great eternal angels, for we were loftier than the God who created us and the powers that were with him, whom we did not know.
So they were greater than God and all everything that goes with him, being the angels, right?
Yeah, and they didn't know him.
Yeah.
Which is different than the Genesis account. Then God, the ruler of the Aeons and the powers, separated us wrathfully. There are a couple of footnotes.
Which implies...
Well, the primordial state of Adam and Eve, as often in Gnostic literature, is seen as that of a single androgynous being. Here, the androgyne myth is used to interpret Genesis 2:21 through 23.
Mm-hmm.
And moreover,
so yeah, they were one according to the Apocalypse of Adam.
yes, they were one horrific fused being, 2 sets of eyes, 2 sets of legs, 2 sets of arms, 1 stomach.
It's like that one diagram
Yeah,
that NASA uses or whatever.
that NASA uses. That was Leonardo's.
Leonardo, my bad.
Yeah. But yes, NASA does use it.
I don't know why.
Yeah.
I think
So
they sent it to space, right?
That
Something
might
like
be
that?
why.
then we
Or
became
no, I think they had. Maybe it wasn't that exact image, but they did have like a.
It's in the Star
It's
Trek
been
intro
heavily
for,
spoofed.
Okay.
Fuck it.
Yeah. Then we became 2 aeons, and the glory in our hearts deserted us, me and your mother Eve, along with the first knowledge that used to breathe within us. And so they lose their knowledge, their memories.
Well, it's unfortunate. How did they get them back?
No.
Because he apparently has him back, right? He's telling Seth about this stuff.
Nah, he imagines this, but he doesn't actually remember it.
Oh, okay.
It was described to him that happened to him once by somebody else.
Right, maybe Eve remembered. She seemed to be the one who let him in on the info.
Yep. And the glory fled from us, entering into other great aeons and another great race, one that did not come from the aeon that we came from, I and Eve, your mother. So here, the Greek word for race is genea.
So like a genetic line.
Yeah, it can be race, nation, generation, according to context. Yeah. So maybe this is an explanation for,
Pronounced Genea, by the way.
Why they're okay. Genea.
I hate you.
Jenny?
Yeah, Jenny. Yulia.
It's not hard. Yulia.
Yulia.
You both suck.
So maybe this is an explanation for why there were people outside of the garden.
That would make sense, yeah.
But they're from a different ancestry. They have no relation whatsoever.
Right, yeah.
Completely different aeon. But the knowledge entered into the seed of great aeons. That is why I myself have called you by the name of that man who is the seed of the great race, or from whom it comes. Couple of notes here. The point may be to assert that the external splendor of Adam and Eve reverted to heavenly beings, but their knowledge, or gnosis, passed into the posterity of Seth. The words glory and knowledge here are not in the text at this point, but are inferred from the grammatical gender of the verbs.
Yeah. That is very common in Greek, yeah.
Mm-hmm. The seed is the posterity or offspring of Seth. Two Greek words, possibly reflecting different sources in a Coptic word, are all rendered seed throughout the translation. And this last phase here, that is why I've called you by the name of that man who is the seed of the great race, or from whom it comes, is obscure and maybe an editorial gloss. Seth, perhaps a heavenly prototype of Seth, is the man referred to.
Right, so it seems like Adam called him, from the way the text is down to us, it seems that Seth was called that because he was named after God in a way, but it would be it would be the real God, right? Mm-hmm. And or like the great God, I suppose.
So God's name is Seth,
or whatever Seth means would be like a reference to that God, like an epithet or something. Mm-hmm. I don't know.
After could be Set.
That would make sense in Egypt, but
it is Coptic.
It is Coptic, yeah, but then it would only make sense then in the Coptic,
right? After those days, the eternal knowledge of the God of truth withdrew from me and your mother Eve. Since that time, we have learned about dead things like men. Then we recognized the God who created us.
In all likelihood, it was just probably edited in in transmission.
Yeah.
Like if that, it would make sense as a gloss then, if it were edited in Egypt.
Yeah. So dead things like men. I guess mortal things. Then we recognized the God who created us, for we were not strangers to his powers, and we served him in fear and subjection. And afterward, our hearts were darkened.
Uh-oh.
So I guess here, Adam and Eve are split off because together
they were too powerful.
They're too powerful.
Too strong.
They're way more powerful than God. But I guess he has the ability to cut them in half.
Apparently so.
And separately, they're not as powerful.
Right.
Which I guess is why the Tower of Babel is such a threat to him, because, if two beings as
stronger
one
together.
Yeah.
In this case, very literally.
When we work together, it's much better. Hamtaro.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah.
right.
I'm sure you all remember Hamtaro.
Nope.
Absolute classic.
I can't forget it.
Up there with Shakespeare. I swear. Anyways,
Fraud.
that's the end of chapter 1. If you're enjoying the stream so far, give us a like, comment, subscribe, share it with friends, family, neighbors, and Siamese twins, I guess. Conjoined twins.
Yeah,
The
that's right.
preferred term.
Conjoined twins, and other beings more powerful than God.
Yeah.
Watch those show up.
Yeah, right. That'd be pretty neat, I guess. I'd be impressed.
We can be as atheist as we want, but then we start insulting these beings that are more powerful than God, and suddenly we're like, shit.
Yep,
Those were
there we
real?
go. Well, yeah.
Oh, man. No, that's not going to happen. Don't worry.
Yep. Could happen.
Yep.
You don't know.
Uh-huh. All of it. Yep. Why not? I don't really care.
Anyways, chapter 2, we're talking about Adam's vision.
Oh, great.
Do you need glasses?
Yeah, he's like, and lo, my eyesight hath dimmed, and I needed spectacles. So
Number 1 or number 2? That's what this part's about.
yea, I cannot tell. May I seeth it again.
Thank you.
That's how it was back in the day.
Yeah.
That's how it was with those Aeons operating the eye checking.
So you
thing.
know it was really accurate.
Yeah, super accurate. Anyways, Adam's vision, chapter 2. Now, I was sleeping in the thought of my heart, and I saw before me 3 men whose appearance I could not recognize because they were not from the powers of the God who created me. So these men is common in the Abraham legends. It's frequent in Gnostic literature, sometimes interpreted in a Trinitarian sense. In the Testament of Abraham 6, Recension A, the strange appearance of the men is also emphasized. So here we have these 3 strange men.
Who came to him in a dream.
Sleeping in the thought of his heart. So yeah, I guess
Probably.
In a dream, yeah.
and they were not from the powers of the God who created them. So these are, I guess, like the other Aeons, but not quite. The other race from the other Aeons, right? But not quite, because then he would have been like, yeah, there were, these guys that I referred to before. No, I guess these are different. They surpassed those powers in their glory. They're more powerful than God too.
They're just going to toss those things around casually.
Yeah, right. It's very, very normal to be more powerful than God here.
Wow.
The men spoke, saying to me, "Rise up, Adam, from the sleep of death, and hear about the Aeon and the seed of that man to whom life has come, the one who came forth from you and from Eve, your wife."
So about Seth.
Yes. The sleep of Adam and his awakening to a revelation of knowledge may be rooted in Genesis 2:21. It's a widespread Gnostic motif. Pull up Genesis 2:21.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing.
So we'll see. We'll see what it may be rooted in. Rise up, Adam, from the sleep of death.
All right. Genesis 2:21.
21.
So the Lord God caused a deep sleep to fall upon the man, and while he slept, took one of the ribs and closed up its place with flesh. Yeah. So this is where he's asleep.
Right. Yeah. When I heard these words from those great men who stood before me, we sighed in our hearts, I and Eve. And the Lord, the God who created us, stood in our presence and said to us, "Adam, why were you sighing in your hearts? Do you not know that I am God who created you,
Oh.
and that I breathed into you a spirit of life for a living soul?" Then darkness fell over our eyes. Then the God who created us created a son from himself and Eve, your mother. And there's 3 lines missing here.
Oh, great.
So I guess this is Cain, right? Could be.
Okay, well, let's see. We got some options, right? We have Cain and Abel. Those are some options.
Yeah.
But I guess Cain would make sense.
Yeah, because God is evil here.
Yeah.
Weird.
Yeah. Then I was defiled in the thoughts of my heart. I recognized a sweet desire for your mother. Then the vigor of our eternal knowledge perished in us, and feebleness pursued us. For this reason, the days of our life became few, for I knew that I had become subject to the power of death. So it's literally that darkness falls over their eyes, and this God tears knowledge from them while impregnating Eve, and gives Adam and Eve the knowledge of death. And it's because of the knowledge of death
That they will die.
Yeah. Well, that is the end of chapter 2. Hey, if you're enjoying the stream so far, don't think about dying.
What?
I was thinking.
Don't think about it.
I was thinking about that
Stop
all
thinking
weekend.
about it.
Or all week, I should say.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
it was a tough week.
That's
yeah.
hard. I can't just tell you to stop. Sorry.
Yeah, right.
I could, but it's futile.
All right. So this next chapter 3, this is still in his vision, it looks like. So we got. Oh, sorry. This is not in his vision. But he is giving Seth a revelation, I guess, about things to come.
Mm-hmm.
So, chapter 3, the flood. Now then, my son Seth, I will reveal to you what was revealed to me by those men whom I once saw before me. After I have completed the times of this generation, and the years of the generation have been fulfilled, then 3 lines missing.
Oh, no.
I hate
What's
that.
going to happen then?
Lawrence, why is it always when you're reading that there's these 3 lines?
Well,
and
he had
such?
3 lines missing.
Did he?
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't remember. I'm sorry.
It was like
Just
a
happened.
minute ago.
Oh, for real?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, it looks like there will be more lines
Sorry.
missing as well. So that is unfortunate.
Oh, great.
So, whatever is happening there, not sure. But then it goes on to say, rain showers of God the Almighty will be poured forth, so that He may destroy all flesh from the earth because of the things it seeks after.
Yeah, so whatever's missing there is probably like, there will come a time when men do not follow the
Right? They
teachings of God.
seek evil things and stuff like that. That's probably
or
what
good
it is.
things. Could be like, there will come a time when the descendants of your loins become imbued with the knowledge which was taken from me and your mother Eve. Right?
Maybe. Well, let's
Could be any number of things.
including those who come from the seed of the men to whom the life of knowledge. What? That weird sentence? Okay. Including those who come from the seed of the men to whom the life of knowledge. Wow. Okay. Probably is given. Which went out from me and Eve your mother was passed on. For they were strangers to him. Afterwards, great angels will come on high clouds to bring those men to the place where the spirit of life dwells. 7 lines missing.
So we have this cool angelic scene,
Yeah, apparently.
but it's missing.
It's missing, yeah.
So use your head cannon here.
From heaven to earth. But the whole multitude of flesh will be left behind in the waters. So yeah, we're still talking about. Okay, so it looks like these angels, they were going to save some people in heaven. I'm guessing, right?
Or at least their spirit.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah, where the spirit of life dwells. Where the spirit of life dwells. So essentially, they did save some people.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but then everyone else dies. Then God will rest from his wrath. He will cast his power upon the waters, and he will give power to Noah and his wife and his sons and their wives by means of the ark, together with their animals, whichever he pleased, and the birds of heaven, which he called and placed upon the earth.
Yeah, so it's just whichever animals he pleases now.
Right.
Not
every
all
animal.
animals.
Nope, just the ones that he wants to take.
Yeah, like
I'm sure they also...
lice, ticks,
yeah, they were
Tapeworms.
really good
tapeworms,
for good for
dingoes,
protein.
Dung beetles.
dung beetles,
Yeah, especially those.
mosquitoes.
Okay, well we can't really
houseflies.
forgive him for mosquitoes.
No.
No forgiveness here.
Centipedes, millipedes.
those are great. Those are
Spiders,
fine.
tarantulas,
Those are great.
scorpions.
Love 'em
Camel
all.
spiders,
Oh, jeez, can't forget those.
You know, camel spiders aren't actually like,
All
Japanese
venomous
murder
snakes.
hornets.
Can we not put everything on there, please? It's horrible.
you know what? He probably just should have taken only those just to spite you guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Venomous snakes.
And God will say to Noah, whom the nations will call Deucalion. Let's see here. Deucalion, son of Prometheus, is the mythical hero of the Greek flood story. Okay. Gotcha.
Okay. So they're just like, yeah, the Greeks have the same story. It's just they use different names.
they're going to, they're going to be the same story, just told differently, right? This is just another version of that story that they view, which, you know what? Not far off. So this is what they're going to say to him.
Behold!
I have guarded you in the ark, together with your wife and your sons and their wives and their animals and the birds of heaven, which you called and placed upon the earth. 4 lines missing.
Wow.
For this reason, I shall give the earth to you and your sons. In sovereignty you shall rule over it, you and your sons. And from you no seed will come forth of the men who will not stand in my presence in another glory. Then they will be like the cloud of great light. Those men will come, the ones who were sent forth from the knowledge of the great Aeons and the angels. They will stand in the presence of Noah and the Aeons. And God will say to Noah, why have you departed from what I told you? You have created another race in order that you might scorn my power.
Huh.
Oh, all right.
Ooh.
Interesting.
Then Noah will reply, I shall bear witness before your might that it is not from me that the race of these men has come, nor from my sons. 5 lines missing.
Okay. So obviously there's more people out there than just the descendants of Noah. People look different.
Right, and he's all like, the ones that are not following you are not from me, they're from someone else, essentially. And then it just ends with the word knowledge. And
knowledge.
yeah, just knowledge. Don't really know anything heading into that.
Great.
And he will release those men and bring them into their proper land and build them a holy dwelling place. And they will be called by that name and will dwell there 600 years in a knowledge of imperishability. And angels of the great light will dwell with them. Nothing abominable will be in their hearts, but only the knowledge of God.
Okay. Maybe they're talking about Abraham. Maybe they're talking about Moses.
Right.
Maybe they're talking about the first temple period. Maybe they're talking about the second temple period.
Could be a decent amount of things because we didn't really get much heading into this, right?
Right, and it's missing. So
Yeah. So that is chapter 3.
There's a lot missing from this chapter.
Yeah, there is. Looks like there's a little bit missing from the next one too.
Even with that stuff missing, chapter 3 is longer than either chapter 1 or 2.
Wow.
Yeah, that is true. But you know what?
Less commentary.
I would say, well, there's not really. Yeah, I guess there's not really much commentary at all. But I would say that the other chapters, chapters 1 and 2, were more. They had more interesting stuff, I would think.
Yeah. Well, this is like Adam having a vision of the future flood and what comes after the flood. Right.
Which we have read about that stuff in another book called the Bible.
And another book. In fact, we keep running into it. It just keeps happening.
Yeah, it's almost as if it forms the basis for much of the belief system and all the offshoots of that belief system.
Almost.
Yeah. So on to chapter 4 here. The division of the earth.
Like, what was it? What was that one book with all the 70 years or 42 years?
Oh, are we talking about Jubilees?
Yeah, Jubilees. They talk about dividing the earth among the sons of Noah, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, but here we have additional factors. We have people from different Aeons.
Then Noah will divide all the earth among his sons, Ham, Japheth, and Shem. He will say to them, "My sons, hear my words. Behold!"
Behold! So it is basically just like in Jubilees.
Yeah, also, you can pull up Genesis 9, 18 through 19.
Genesis 9,
Yeah, so
18 through 19.
yes, "My sons, hear my words. Behold, I have divided the earth among you."
And the sons of Noah that went forth of the ark were Shem and Ham and Japheth. And Ham is the father of Canaan. These are the 3 sons of Noah, and of them was the whole earth overspread.
Yeah. So this is, I guess, taking from that, this is how they're going to divide it, I guess. So yeah, "Behold, I have divided the earth among you, but serve him in fear and subjection all the days of your life. Do not let your seed depart from the face of God the Almighty."
Yeah, at this point, you just watched all of humanity die, basically.
Yeah, so you really better not stray from this guy.
Yeah, don't piss this guy off, man.
Yeah. So this is where we have 5 lines missing. Okay, so the title "God the Almighty," like God who created us, clearly designates the inferior creator or demiurge. It is a frequent epithet of God in the Septuagint. Then Shem, the son of Noah, will say, "My seed will be pleasing before you and before your power." Weird thing to say to your dad.
Yeah.
"Put a seal on it with your strong hand."
Oh,
in fear.
no.
Oh, my God.
Oh, no.
And in fear and commandment, so that all the seed that has come forth from me will not be inclined away from you, and God the Almighty.
Oh no.
Why are you still saying, "Oh, no"?
Oh, no.
Would you tell your dad, and I quote, I want you to imagine saying this to your dad.
I don't think I want to.
"My seed will be pleasing before you and before your power. Put a seal on it with your strong hand in fear and commandment, so that all the seed that has come forth from me will not be inclined away from you, and God the Almighty."
Why life? What's the meaning of any of this?
Suffer.
Meaningless.
It's completely
Everything
meaningless.
is meaningless.
Oh, yeah.
That's a good point. will not be inclined away from you and God the Almighty, but they will serve in humility and fear of their knowledge. Then, from the seed of Ham and Japheth, others will go, 400,000 men, and will enter into another land and sojourn with those men who came forth from the great eternal knowledge. Oh, interesting. Okay.
Oh.
So number 400,000 may simply be a large round number. Yeah, so that would be like, whenever you would just want to say like a lot of people.
A lot.
Yeah, just a lot of people. So when they're sojourning with these other people, is that their sojourn in Egypt? Is that what they're talking about?
It said Shem and...
So here it apparently refers to non-Jewish converts to the race of Scythian Gnostics.
Yeah, but
The
it says
400,000.
the sons of Shem?
No. So then from the seed of Ham and Japheth.
Yeah, Ham is the father of Canaan.
Yeah.
That's Genesis 9:18.
Yeah, 400,000 men, and will enter into another land and sojourn. So these are just other people. With those men who came forth from the great eternal knowledge. Those are the real ones then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, it's the Canaanites who were the good guys the whole time.
Yeah.
And this Yahweh guy,
Real dick.
real dick.
Yeah. For the shadow
Though
of their
maybe, flooding the entire earth and killing pretty much everyone was a good warning sign.
right, it's a nice
That
red
was his
flag.
warning shot, yeah.
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 It's like, well, maybe this isn't the best guy.
Solution, yeah. Any of this. For the shadow of their power will guard those who have sojourned among them from every evil deed and every foul desire. Then the seed of Ham and Japheth will make 12 kingdoms, and their other seed will enter the kingdom of another people. 3 lines missing. And then it ends with great aeons of imperishability. So this they will make 12 kingdoms. The 12 kingdoms may be modeled on the 12 tribes of Israel. In the Septuagint of Genesis 10:2 and 10:6, there are 12 sons of Japheth and Ham. For the 12 plus 1, 13 kingdoms mentioned below, which have parallels in the Nag Hammadi documents, such as the Gospel of the Egyptians and Marcians, I don't know. Probably one of those. But either way, that is the end of chapter 4.
Yeah, so that's a reading for the day. What
Yes.
do you think of the Apocalypse of Adam so far?
There is some interesting stuff in there. I like hearing about how people are more, or I guess Adam and Eve together as one were more powerful than God.
Yeah, and there are also this group of people who don't come from God, and they're also more powerful than God.
And they're from an even more separate aeon than that.
Yeah, they come from a more powerful creator. They come from a better one.
Yeah, and their descendants are the Canaanites.
Right. So, this is, of course, very different from what we learned in the Bible.
You see, it gives a lot of context, right? Because in the Bible, God's all like, don't worship those other guys. And on the one hand, it can be like, oh, well, because I'm a jealous God. But on the other hand, it's like, well, if
It's like a cult. He's trying to keep you away from all the other things that could corrupt you.
Right, but if these other guys come from the true and righteous, ultimate super God, then maybe that undermines the demiurge's power if he doesn't have these followers, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, there are a lot of missing lines there, so maybe the whole flood was just a power grab, right?
Yeah, that's right. Maybe he was just trying to get rid of some of the opposing God's followers, the opposing Aeons followers.
Yeah. Super God, we'll call him.
Yeah, super God. I like that. God
and super goddess, too.
Sure. Can be whatever, honestly.
Yeah.
But either way, there's another creator that I want to see how this turns out, because in a story you'd be like, something that isn't where like the end is pretty much known, you'd be like, I hope this more powerful God, this more important one, this more righteous one, I hope he beats the shit out of this lesser. No. It's not going to happen, right?
No, it's not going to happen.
No, it's not going to happen.
Bad guy wins.
Yeah, which is why the Apocalypse of Adam had to be written.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So that you all know that the bad guy wins.
Yeah. But maybe, you know what? Maybe they had like some expectation that he'd win it all back or something like that.
Yeah. I like how they turn like Noah into like this groveling, frightened, like,
yeah. It's like you listen, this guy's crazy, man. You gotta listen to me. Don't piss him off.
Yeah. So, anyways, we have a shirt that we haven't displayed before.
It's up.
Yes. Now,
wait, it looks like there are more. Wait, hold on. So
yeah, there's 23 total.
Yeah, 23. What 20? Okay, so here's the thing. So we couldn't for some reason it wasn't showing us all the shirts on our end here, even though they were very clearly on Teespring. So we have our Word is Bird shirt. We also have we should have another one up there too that we haven't shown on the show because it just hasn't popped up.
Well, we'll save that for Sunday.
Sure.
Because right now we can, I think the Beheld shirt is the other one.
Yeah, I think it's the Beheld one. Yeah.
Well, right now you can check because it came from an apocryphal piece.
It did, yeah.
Word is Bird. Word is Bird. Check it out on Teespring and join us on Patreon.
Yeah, you have a chance of winning a shirt once a month.
Yeah, it can even be the Word is Bird shirt.
Yeah, I think it's a nice little shirt. Mm-hmm. So you could win that shirt. You could win a different shirt. If you're a patron of $10 or more, you could be on the show potentially. We have lots of patron levels, and you get rewards for all that stuff.
Yeah, and if you want to help us in a different way, check out our Amazon wish list, which is full of books that you can purchase and send to us so that we can read them, and we'll read them and maybe read them to you. Books, they're good for reading.
They are good for reading. Those pesky books.
They're
being
good
read.
For holding down papers on tables.
Well, really only the Oxford Companion to the Bible.
Yeah.
Especially that one.
They're good for home defense. No weapons around. Got to defend your home from invaders.
Throw a book, why don't you?
Toss that Hermenia volume at them.
Right, yeah, that'll knock them out.
That'll knock them out right away. And the more of those books you have on your shelf, the more chances you have to survive. What else? We have Facebook and Twitter.
Free to follow us on those platforms.
And we still have the Ahikar competition going on.
We do, yeah. So, haven't really had anyone submit, but please do, because I think it'd be nice.
Yep.
To read some fanfics.
Yep. Oh yeah, books used to be trees. Trees are evil, so it's great that they're books now.
Okay.
Yeah, those evil trees.
I mean, you see them standing there all menacingly with their multiple roots
with their tallness,
branches, and they're blocking out the sun, which is a good thing. The sun is nice.
They're
trying to steal the sun from us with their evil.
Right, they're trying to steal the sun.
Don't worship the trees.
No, a bad idea.
Don't set up an Asherah pole made of trees.
Well, the thing is, it depends on if Asherah would be. Is in real life, is Asherah more related to the demiurge or to the great god?
What Aeon does she come from?
Yeah, that depends. Not really. But anyways, I think that's all the shilling we gotta do. All links are in the description. Thanks everyone for joining us today. I hope you enjoyed the reading of the Apocalypse of Adam. We'll be back with it more next week to finish it, actually, because it is a pretty short text.
Yep. And then we'll, on Sunday we're gonna keep reading Mark. We're about halfway through it.
Yeah.
A little more, I think.
And we have Landon on Sunday as well.
We will see
you on Sunday.
Defend yourself from the trees
Use
using books as
books.
weapons.
Throw books at trees.